Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Just wanted to show off my 3DO collection. It is a bit dusty because I put my system and the games away because I'd gotten just too much stuff kind of like out on my main entertainment center, you know, like I just got the Wii U, I guess probably about a year, maybe a little less than a year ago. I was kind of trying to move things around and figure out what I should fit and what couldn't fit, and I didn't want to start using splitters and things, so things are a bit dusty, so forgive that. But I did want to show off the games I owned and just talk about them a little bit, at least the ones that are special to me. And if you've watched the channel before, you know that 3DO is one of my favorite systems. I feel it's very underrated. I'm a big Sega CD guy, I'm a big Dreamcast guy. I love the Neo Geo a lot, even though I don't own one. I just have a Neo Geo X, which I don't even think works anymore. And the 3DO, the Saturn. So yeah, I don't talk about the 3DO that often, and I just really wanted to do a video. So I have a box here of all my games, and I'm just going to list them off. So the first one is a really rough, as you see, long box, Need for Speed. Now, I kind of screwed up here. Years ago, I owned a 3DO. I'm pretty sure it was in really good shape, but I think the cord, because the cord on the 3DO is actually built in, the cord had a little fray, so there was tape around it, but otherwise the system was in great shape. And all my games were pretty much mint. And I never really played it often. I was playing other things. I was actually, at that point, looking into a certain type of career, and I was trying to make some money, so I ended up selling it off. So I did get a 3DO for not such a great price years back, before it got really, I'd say, a lot higher, but still not a great price. And all the games it came with were pretty much scratched up, like pretty bad. They work, but I don't like that, so what are you gonna do? You know, I mean, I want to replace a couple here and there that I know are my favorites, but so the first one I got is Need for Speed. As I said, the case is mangled. This was actually one of the, I don't want to say system sellers, but this was a really decent version of the PC version, I believe. So if you had a 3DO and you liked racing games, Need for Speed was always a good choice. Another one I have here is Escape from Monster Manor. This is a first-person shooter with these really weird, like semi-3D looking, like ghosts and stuff that you have to shoot. It can be pretty difficult, but this is definitely a standout game on the system. So check this out if you like first-person shooters, kind of like old-fashioned ones like Wolfenstein, but with ghosts. Another one I got here is Syndicate. This is a game that I always thought I should like more than I do. I'm a big cyberpunk fan. It's probably my favorite genre. You know, I love things like Nirvana, Johnny Mnemonic, Blade Runner, The Matrix. So this game I thought was going to be right up my alley, and it's good. And I even played the new rendition of it on the 360. But it's, you know, you're kind of micromanaging this team of like assassins or whatever they are, government agents, and you can like upgrade their parts and do like certain things with them, and the micromanaging portion just kind of doesn't do it for me. But I always, you know, pop this in every so often and give it another go, and it's pretty cool. And back when this came out, it was probably considered pretty violent. One of my favorite games ever, has some great memories attached to it, Psychic Detective. I had this for the PlayStation 1, which is also in a long box, and then I saw this on the 3DO online, and I picked it up years ago when I got the 3DO again, and it happened to be brand new. So I opened it on camera. Some people, you can go back and watch that video, it's still on my channel. Some people were very angry that I opened it, and some people were like, games are meant to be played, and that's how I feel. This is one of my favorite games. This stars a really good actor named Kevin Bresnahan. It's full motion video, and you're watching people, and you're a psychic detective, and you're jumping from mind to mind, and then seeing things through their perspective, and the more you do that, the more you gather information from their point of view, and then can solve riddles and at the end of the game. There's like a board game at the end of the game. It's definitely one of these games that requires multiple playthroughs. I've gotten the best ending only because I followed a walkthrough. Otherwise, it's very hard in ways. But if you like full motion video games and quirky kind of weird things, check out Psychic Detective. This is definitely something you should at least watch it on YouTube or something. Another one of my favorite games that again, is not in great shape, and I wish it was. So if anyone has a spare copy they want to sell cheap or something, just a disc, please let me know. This is Twisted. This is a TV show It looks like a TV show, you know, and it's a board game. And you use full motion video characters to play this board game. All the characters are kind of goofy, so it's fun to like choose your characters and like banter back and forth with your friends. This game is up to, I'm trying to think how many players it is. Four players. So we've daisy chained the controllers on the 3DO and played this with friends numerous times. I can't tell you how many times I've said, hey, there's friends over, let's bust out the 3DO and play Twisted. It's a great party game. Lots of like matching things or timing kind of games and puzzles and trivia. Older stuff now because it was back in the 90s. But this is just such a fun game. Check out Twisted if you haven't. Another one I got here is Jam It. This is kind of during that whole Tude era when, you know, NBA Jam and stuff was big and like Barkley's Shut Up and Jam. This had come out on I think the Super Nintendo and the Genesis. I remember playing it on, I think, the Genesis, and it's okay. You know, it's got like a little bit of that. What's that thing in Mortal Kombat where they capture the motion capture, so that people look pretty real, but the game plays kind of stilted. It's okay. It's kind of an interesting idea, you know. So that's Jam It. Road Rash, which again is one of the main reasons people owned a 3DO. This is one of like the best versions of the original Road Rash at the time. And it has all full motion video and all these like great bands like Soundgarden and Monster Magnet, and you know, they play the music while you're racing, and you can punch people off the bikes and upgrade your motorcycles and stuff. This is a really great game. They should redo. I know someone did one recently called Road. It's not Road Rash. It's like Road something, and it looks okay. It looks kind of low budget or something, but they need to do something like this, but maybe like an online mode so that you can like fight and beat the shit out of your friends. This game needs a comeback. Another one I have here is Iron Soldier. This is like a first-person sort of mech shooting game, or actually it's not a mech, you're in like a ship. I found this to be okay, but kind of just old-fashioned looking and doesn't really hold up that well. So now we get into the games that I don't have long boxes for. First one is Zadnos, The People's Party. And you'd look at this and go, what the hell is this thing? This looks like a stupid puzzle game or something. I'm not buying it. It's a lot like Twisted. So you're in this weird, almost, I think it's like the Soviet Union captures you or something, and they put you in this thing, and if you make it through, you live, and if you die, I think that's, if I remember correctly, and if you die, you don't, you die. You lose. And just like the game of life. And very similar to something like Twisted. I prefer Twisted, but this game is still cool and definitely fun to throw in between games of Twisted with friends. So check out Zadnos, The People's Party. Another one I have here, which I really enjoy a lot, is Gex. Most people don't talk about Gex. He always gets overshadowed by Mario and Sonic, but Gex has a lot of Tude, as GameSack just covered on their channel, and he does a lot of movie references and quotes and stuff. So I always liked Gex. However, the save function is kind of annoying in this, and it's spaced apart so much that I feel like it's difficult for me. I was never able to beat this, but I do enjoy Gex. Is this 2 discs? It might be more discs here. Let's see. I don't know. The other one I have here is D. This is just loose discs here. I played this with my fiance Beth a few years back, and we beat it with a walkthrough. This is I don't want to say point and click, it's not point and click. Like an adventure game where you walk around and solve puzzles, but everything's very obscure, and you die a lot unless you really know what you're doing. You're in this like creepy house. This was made by Kenji Eno, the guy who did D2 and Enemy Zero, and those games for the blind, Kaze no whatever on the Saturn and Dreamcast. What else? He did something else that's escaping me right now, but a really great video game director who's passed away, sadly. But this is the old game D that he did on, it was also on the PlayStation 1 and the Saturn. Another one I have here is Star Control. I haven't played this, but I heard this was a really good, like, Starfleet kind of role-playing game. Theme Park, where you build your own theme park. You know, you've probably played stuff like this over the years on the PC, right? Death Keep, which is a like Dungeons and Dragons type first-person dungeon crawler. It's alright, I find those to be kind of slow now. Hell, a cyberpunk thriller. And this game, if I recall, has a lot of big-name actors. I think, I almost said Anthony Hopkins. It's not Anthony Hopkins. Dennis Hopper. They both have Hop in their name. This is a point-and-click adventure game, and it's good, and there's a lot of voice acting, but it's very slow, and like, it's weird. You're in this strange, you're in hell, and you're trying to, I think, save someone's soul, and the animation's very bad now, and looks, you know, janky and whatever, but this is another one I always thought I really wanted to beat, and I just never get into it enough to get far to beat it, but I played a lot of it. I played a good portion. This is Patank. This is like a shooting tank game. I think I played this a little bit once. Well, excuse me, it's not a tank game. It's like a pinball type game where you bounce around, but like, I think I played this. I'm either mixing this up with something else, but anyway, there's Patank. I don't know. It didn't look interesting, so I don't think I played it more than once, so I don't remember it. Another one I have here is the classic Myst. This is the first-person adventure game where there's levers and switches and buttons everywhere. You have to figure out what they do and solve the mystery. Let's see. Primal Rage, which is the great motion, well, it's not motion capture, but the game that was like Mortal Kombat with dinosaurs. I remember when I was a kid, this had just gotten released after it was out in the arcades for a while, and my buddies and I were like, should we get it day one? And we were like, my dad was supposed to pick it up for me and he didn't, and then like we played it and I was like, it's cool, but I don't really need it. It's just interesting when you're a child to see dinosaurs piss on each other and fart in each other's faces and stuff. There's a lot of that goofy humor in this. A good one here I have is Police Knots. This is the spiritual sequel to Snatcher. This is the Japanese version. The 3DO is region free, however, there are certain Japanese titles you can't play, like Lucian's Quest, because they require a certain kanji font that is not built into the American, or I guess European versions of the 3DO. But this one doesn't have that. So I really always wanted to play this. I got it pretty cheap if I recall, and instead of playing it on the Saturn, I popped into the 3DO. I beat this with a walkthrough, and you get the gist of the story from playing it, though I'm sure it's got way more humor and, you know, interesting stuff if you understand the language. I loved Snatcher so much on the Sega CD that I really wanted to play this, so I did. Another cool one that I always used to see in ads that I thought was pretty good, the Daedalus Encounter with Tia Carrera from Wayne's World. This is a first-person kind of point-and-click puzzle game where you are a robot, you're like a part of this space team, and you get like hurt, and they put your head into a robot, and then you're following the team around and solving puzzles. I used a walkthrough and beat this. It was pretty cool. It had some fun, cheesy B kind of humor going on. Most people don't talk about this. I would say check this out if you can find it really cheap and you like those types of games. I got the Horde, which is Kirk Cameron, where you have to defend this horde as you build your like little town up. Not my type of game. Like I said, I don't like that micromanaging kind of thing. Got Quarantine, which was recently covered by Mastercast TV, my buddy AJ Rosa. This is like a almost, I don't want to say Twisted Metal, but it's like a first-person car game where you race around and kill people and run them over and shoot them. And it's pretty cool. It's kind of clunky, but it's definitely got that, again, attitude from the 90s. It was interesting. Dragon's Lair, the full-motion video cartoon that I would say most people know about. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. This was one of the best renditions of the game years back. Back when this came out, this was the best rendition of the game. Great graphics, great sound. I don't know if it was arcade perfect, but it's probably damn near close. So most people recommend this if they have a 3DO. Let's see here. Oh, the 3DO Game Guru. This is just you're able to go in and have another one here, a memory manager. For some reason, certain games would let you delete and save. You could save to your 3DO internal memory, but to delete, certain games let you and certain games didn't. So you would go in with these. Well, this was almost like a Game Shark, but this is a lets you go in and manipulate the saves and delete them and stuff. You can shrink them to make them smaller, if I remember, so you can have more saves. This lets you cheat in games, has like built-in cheat codes. So I downloaded these because I'm not going to buy originals or something like that. Slayer, which is similar to that Dungeon Keep game I showed. Samurai Showdown, which is a great SNK fighting game, but way more defensive than Street Fighter. This is, you know, a really great game. Samurai Showdown series is excellent. Let's see, you got Killing Time. This is another first-person horror game. This has a lot of like full-motion video actors and stuff in it that talk to you while you're running around. Weird atmosphere, very creepy, maze-like levels. I always really found this one interesting. I found out years later that the PC version has an extra ending, that this only has actually a bad ending. So if you beat the T to get a bad ending on the 3DO, so that kind of sucks. How much? Oh, it restarted the timer. Damn it, I guess it probably cut me off there a little bit. Sorry guys. Demolition Man, this is a, I'm trying to remember what this game was like. We beat this, my friend and I. It's like a shooting game, but an arcade shooting game where you're still and you have to shoot. But then, if I remember correctly, there's also parts where you walk around. I just don't fully recall it, but we beat this. I think it was pretty cool. Arnold Sylvester Stallone talks to you in it and stuff, and it's like tells you you're doing a bad job in full motion video. Phoenix 3. This is a pretty good sort of loose controlling, like action platformer with this guy from a spaceship that's trying to like kill these aliens or something. It was cool. Shanghai Triple Threat. If I remember correctly, this is either a card game or a mahjong game. I've got the 3DO sampler here, which has Gex, Off-World Interceptor, Samurai Showdown, Total Eclipse, Star Control, The Horde. I don't think you can play all these. I think most of them were just video clips, but whatever. Pebble Beach Golf Links. Everyone has a golf game in their collection, right? Well, at least I do. Blade Force. This was alright. This was a, you play like an attack helicopter, if I remember, and you're flying around. Everything's very polygon-esque. Doesn't look very well now. 3D. You shoot things and have to pick up these power-ups. It was alright. Crash and Burn. This was the racing game with the attitude, with the full motion video characters. That was a pack-in for the 3DO at one point. And this is pretty cool. It's only one player, and if I remember quickly, you like kind of race around and shoot other cars and try to make it to the finish line first. I liked it, but you know, it's not amazing or anything. What do I have here? The very infamous, I don't have an original case for it, Way of the Warrior. This was a Mortal Kombat ripoff by Naughty Dog, the people who did The Last of Us and Crash Bandicoot and all that. And I will tweet them every so often and say, why won't you put out Way of the Warrior again? Just kind of as a joke. They were so broke at the time, they got their friends to film themselves and do motion capture and make this Mortal Kombat ripoff. And the characters are really weird and cheesy. There's like ninjas and bikers and like an Australian outback type guy named Shaky Jake, who's my favorite, and fatalities, and everything's like over the top and gory and stupid. And it's just a really goofy, fun game. I would recommend Way of the Warrior, even, you know, not if you want like a serious fighter, but if you don't mind like that cheesy, goofy type of shit, definitely check it out. Then I have Guardian War, which I just actually spoke to my buddy online about the other day. This was a like strategy RPG where you walk around and then you can like I think move your character on a board, if I remember correctly, like on spots, and try and hit the bad guy, you know, attack and magic and all that stuff. But you play these like weird group of like knights that like are very like squished down and shrunken with big heads. For the time, it's pretty cool. It's simplistic, but pretty cool. The graphics don't really hold up that great nowadays, kind of like the way the N64 type graphics don't hold up that well, but I would still recommend Guardian War. This one, oh god, Shadow Warriors. I think it's also called Shadow War Succession. This is the Japanese version because the game's in English, I think, so it didn't really matter to me. But this is another Mortal Kombat ripoff, just like Way of the Warrior, but the fatalities aren't even in the game. The game plays horribly. Like, the button presses hardly work. It plays like super fast and it's difficult to control. This game is so bad. I bought this as kind of like I was collecting for the 3DO, and I was like, I want to get some rare stuff that's sort of difficult to come by, but I don't want to spend a lot on this shitty game. So I picked up the Japanese one fairly cheap. I don't even know if I should have did that, honestly. It's really bad. Just check out some videos online. Oh, my buddy Cody over at Sonic Lopsided sent me these years ago. Copies of Immortal Desire and Love Bites, because the 3DO is region free, but also copyright protection is null and void, so you can just burn games all you want. So he sends me 2 softcore porn games. I think I popped these in once, and you know, you just like watch people, and it's not porn, it's sort of like women dancing around and acting like vampires and shit. It's very goofy, but it's still slightly porn. What else here? I got Siberia. This was a pretty, I thought, unique game. I didn't beat it. I never got very far. You play like different things. There's a shooting section where you do like a first-person shooting thing. I think there's a plane section where you can fly, if I recall. There's puzzles, and then there's like walking around and like not getting killed and like talking to people. So there's like lots of genres kind of meshed into this one. It sort of has that going on. But this was also big on the PC years and years ago. That's, I think, how I played the demo. So I picked it up to the 3DO. It's pretty cool. Oh man, I'll show that one last. These two are my last ones. Okay, I also have Strahl. I forgot about this. This is in the vein of something like Wirehead or Dragon's Lair or Space Ace, but it's with an anime cartoon. I forget what the original anime was called. And my friends and I played this years ago. We popped it in, and there's prompts, like Time Gal. You can push the prompts to try and figure out which way to go, and we figured, oh no, you don't figure out which way to go, so it's not like Wirehead. I don't think the prompts change where you're going. I think if you don't push the prompt quick enough, you die. That's what it was. It's like, you know, Masked Rider on the Sega CD or whatever. So, if I recall. Anyway, it was a good game, and it was short. It's probably like an hour, but it's a good full motion video, like anime, quick time event game. So check out Strahl if you haven't seen it. I'm pretty sure that's also in Japanese on the Saturn. I forget the name. I want to say it's like Heart of something, but I don't really recall. So these are my last two I wanted to show off. I'm actually surprised I bought these, but I got them at a decent price. I don't know if they went up or down since. The first one is Snow Job, and you would think this is another pornographic game, but it isn't. I've showed this off a little bit on my channel. It stars Tracy Scoggins. I forget what she was from originally, but she was like this actress that people thought was hot, so they threw her in this. And you're a private investigator, and you're point and clicking and shooting people sometimes. Like there's some action sequences, and you're picking up certain items and giving them to people at certain times, and trying to solve this mystery of, I think there's like a drug lord in town, and you're trying to save this girl from being wrapped up into it or some crap. I played about half of it. It's so slow, even with a walkthrough, that I couldn't finish it. I just couldn't get into it. Very mundane, very just old-fashioned and hard to play through. So I gave up on this. Maybe I'll go back to it one day. It was interesting enough. I liked the actors and the cheese that they had going, but just very, very old-fashioned gameplay. Everything's very slow and takes its time, and it was just a drag. And finally, I still can't believe I bought this one either. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. This isn't complete, obviously, it's just the game, which is mint, and the booklet. And this game is infamous. This had slightly like risque material, because I think you see like a nipple at one point and a butt, but they like blur them out with like a stupid like cartoony face, unless you put some kind of code in. I've tried the code just to see if it works. I've never gotten it to work. I don't know if it does work, but I'm sure it does, because I think people out there have looked. It's supposed to be like a full motion video, you know, adventure, choose your own adventure type of game. It's not. It's a text-based game with still photos. There is no full motion video. They'll show you still photos of something happening and then give you some kind of choices. And you pick a choice and the story unfolds. It's the weirdest game. They break the fourth wall in the game numerous times. There's a guy with a chicken mask on. People are getting shot, and there's like MS Paint, like red blood splatters on them. There's this really infamous scene with the girl from the game going to get a job, and this big sleazy fat boss tries to get her to have sex with him and starts yelling, "Take off your damn clothes!" It's a really weird game. I wouldn't even really, I guess it's a game. It's like a choose your own adventure text-based kind of game. It's very short. I'm sure what I paid for it wasn't worth. Watch a video. Watch AVGN play it, or some other YouTuber. It's a very, I think I have a video of me filming my screen playing it, so maybe check that out. It's it's probably like the most infamous game on the 3DO, and you deserve to watch something, even 5 minutes of it, just to see how strange it is. So this is my 3DO collection. As I said, sadly, some of them are scratched up because when I purchased the lot, the guy didn't say that. He's like, oh, you could play copies. It's like, I don't care. I don't want to play copies. I like original stuff. I don't like copied games. If I liked copied stuff, I would copy everything and never buy games for the 3DO. So if anyone happens to have a copy of Twisted that's in nice shape and wants to sell it to me, please let me know. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed me showing off my 3DO collection. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.